LR Turbo 51 over here. I hope you're having a splendid day wherever you are in the world. Guys, one thing that I forgot to do at the end of the previous episode, well, forgot to show you guys, was that I'm busy watching a few other drivers on that is available to us. As you guys know, I said a few episodes ago that I will keep Jack Aitken at the end of the season if he is able to score at least one World Championship point before the season is done. So Jack has still got a fair amount of time to score a point, and if he does, he has sealed his seat here at It Turbo Boosted Racing for Season 2, and he will stay in Formula 1. Guys, please drop a like down below on the video. It's only going to take you a nifty 2 seconds, and without further ado, let's head straight into this episode. You guys can see all the drivers I am keeping an eye on. Pierre Gasly is one of the guys that I'm going to keep a big eye on, as well as Sergio Perez and Carlos Sainz. Why I'm doing that, guys, remember, it's not guaranteed that Jack is going to score a point. Also, I had my eye on Nick de Vries, who is a free agent, but if Jack does not score a point at the end of the season, there's no point in keeping him. I mean, you guys have seen, obviously, I have been scoring significant points the past few races, and the car is capable of scoring points with the right strategy. So I expect Jack to at least have one points a scoring race before the end of the season. Otherwise, I am unfortunately going to kick Jack to the curb and get somebody else into our beautiful It Turbo boosted car. But guys, please remember to follow me on my social media platforms. Share this video with your friends, tag me in the post or the story, and I will give you a shout out on my social medias as well as here on YouTube. Now guys, heading towards this weekend, we are heading towards the Dutch Grand Prix in the My Team story, and for this weekend, guys, I was, after the run I had at Zandvoort in the career mode, I was really looking forward towards this weekend. But remember, being in a Ferrari and being in your own car, which is a back marker car, is two different things. So basically, as usual, we are aiming for anything above, like I said at the beginning of the season, anything above P14. But before we head to the race, we've got an interview. Ooh!
Here we are in the HQ of our newest Formula 1 team. We've got an awful lot to talk about, so let's jump straight in. Will your team be going for the Constructors' Championship this season, or just for points? What are your predictions for your team going into this season? Your second driver seems to be getting much more comfortable with their car. Have you been focusing on their development? Your team's been picking up points fairly consistently. Do you think you'll be able to become a challenge to the top teams in the future? Do you see your relationship with your second driver being long-term, or will you be looking for someone else if you're successful? Well, thanks a lot for inviting us here. It's been fantastic.
Our cash is getting pretty low. We may need to shut down facilities for a while to cut down our running costs.
Carl, relax, my friend. We will not have to shut down any facilities. Your boys got it. So just chill out for me. We are getting the cash running again. We've got 700 grand. We can keep the facilities running for the time being. So chill out. We just got some cash. Look at that. We're up to 1.2 million. So take a chill pill for me, bruh. Take a chill pill. Guys, heading into this weekend, we are going to change our tire allocation preference for this weekend. I'm going with a balanced tire allocation this weekend. I don't think I will be able to run the same strategy that I did in the career mode where I used the 2 softest compounds. I think with our car really being still being one of the worst cars on the grid, the car's tire wear, the way it handles tire wear is not yet at a sufficient state where it will be able to handle the 2 softest compounds. So I have to play it safe and go for the tire strategy that has more hards, but also having enough softs and mediums if there is a surprise safety car or anything like that. We need to be prepared for everything. Guys, looking at the performance chart, it is Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull, Racing Point, then Renault and McLaren are very close for P5 and P6. P7 it's Alfa Romeo. P8, 9 and 10, it's a very tough fight between our team, not myself, our team, Alpha Tauri and I nearly said Rich Energy Haas Racing. Haas F1 Racing. Sorry. Guys, I'm still a little bit back in F1 2019. You guys knew this was going to happen. And then at the end of the pack, it is still Williams bringing up the rear. But guys, heading in towards this weekend, I really gelled with Zandvoort. I just don't know why. This track, like I said in the career mode episode, is a fantastic driver's track. And when you hook up a lap here, I'd like, that? It tends to go really well, but let's hope we do not do that in qualifying. And without further ado, let's head straight to the Dutch GP's qualifying, yeah. Guys, jumping straight to the end of Q1, as you guys can see, we got a very, very solid P7. And there was no point in showing Q1, guys. I went for 2 consecutive runs, but nothing really fancy happened. No crazy things in Q1, and we jumped straight in to the beginning of Q2 using a worn set of soft tires. As you guys see, we hug the wall there on the outside of the final corner. We come across the line.
Okay, we can take you this lap.
And once again, we go P7, but as we get to the end of the session, we're all the way down in P13. We open up DRS to come across the line for our final lap, and we go P7 again. Okay, it's clear that the number 7 is my lucky number for the season. So we are in P7 once again, so that is us through to Q3. I don't know how we're getting the pace out of this car, guys. I think it might be time, to lift the difficulty of the game again, as we are currently running 106 AI out of 110. But in any case, guys, jumping into Q1, luckily when you get to Q3, you get an extra new set of soft tires. So once again, my first run was on a worn set of soft tires. It was really not a good lap, I'm not gonna lie. So as we went in for our, that's a little bit fast. I think, yeah, I exceeded track limits. Okay, I was at least not speeding into the pit lane, thank goodness. But you guys can see, as all the cars have finished their first run, we are in P10, and that is not looking too nice and dandy. Like I said, luckily we've got one more set of soft tires to boot. And as you guys see, the engineers are now busy pushing the car back into the garage. And guys, I would like to know what is going through the other F1 teams' heads when they see this. At this stage, I already love the car, but at this stage, you guys can't lie, it's a little bit of a hunk of junk. I wonder what they're thinking when they see this hunk of junk in Q3. Then clearly it's not a hunk of junk, but you guys know, sometimes it performs well, other times it performs very bad.
All complete. Mechanics, please stand clear. We're ready to go.
Thank you, Jeff. Guys, as we head in here for our final run in Q3, I still can't believe we've made Q3. We come across the line with 21 seconds to spare, and let's go for a beautiful lap here around the Dutch GP circuit of Zandvoort. So you guys see the first quarter Tarzan, it's a very tight hairpin, but you have to be very confident on the power coming out of the corner. A left head into a right, into the hairpin where I lost it. And in practice 2, I think it was, coming out of the hairpin, it's uphill. It's very hard to get traction coming out of there, but don't be too hasty on the throttle. Be brave. Plod it to the floor, into my favorite corner of the track, throw the car left, 6th gear, 7th gear, flat out through there. It's, okay, well, you brake, but then after that, your foot is all the way to the floor, nothing of easing the throttle. You just mash the pedal down to the floor, through the right-hander, into this next left-handed hairpin. It's a very, very tight corner, and it can catch you out once again with the traction coming out of the corner, so make sure you are brave on the throttle, but not too hasty. Into the 4th to last corner, you guys to clip the curb on the inside. Try to stay away from the left-handed hairpin's curb on the inside. It will spin you out if you are too aggressive. Heading into the penultimate corner, quick corner, 5th gear as you come out of it to kill the oversteer, mount the curb on the outside, flat out through the final corner of the embankment, open up DRS, and we are going to qualify in P!
And with qualifying complete, let's review our top 3 today. Bottas, Vettel and Charles Leclerc. Well, that wraps up qualifying, but don't worry, we'll be back tomorrow as we head into the Grand Prix.
Okay, P7 in Q1, P7 in Q2, P7 in Q3. Clearly, Zandvoort likes me when it comes to 7s. That does not make a lot of sense, but it's not the point. Guys, please get ready for the Dutch Grand Prix. Oh, yeah.
It was 35 years ago that the late great Niki Lauda took his 25th and final Grand Prix win here at Zandvoort. He came from 10th on the grid to beat his McLaren teammate Alain Prost by just 0.2 of a second. Well, Zandvoort is a very different circuit today, of course, but still one with an incredible legacy. And we're going to add to that. Welcome along to the 2020 Dutch Grand Prix. A lap of this short 2.6 mile Zandvoort circuit features 14 corners, 10 to the right and 4 to the left. The main straight is 678 metres long and heads into turn 1, the Tarzan corner. With DRS down the main straight into the braking zone, that could be the best overtaking opportunity on the track. And as always, a man with plenty of racing experience joins me in the commentary box. Today it's Anthony Davidson. Tell me, Ant, you're no stranger to surviving the melee of turn 1. So how do you keep out of trouble when there's so much going on around you?
There are 3 main things to worry about there, Crofty. Positioning, awareness and discipline. First, you have to put your car in a bit of space and make sure you have room to react to what the others are doing. Then you have to watch your mirrors and listen to the sounds around you to get a sense of where everyone is. And finally, just don't get too greedy. Just because a gap exists doesn't always mean you should go for it.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, with Sebastian Vettel starting alongside. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Leclerc, Hamilton, Max Verstappen and Albon, Parker, Perez, Stroll and Carlos Sainz, Norris, Ricciardo, Esteban Ocon and Raikkonen, Grosjean, Kvyat, Antonio Giovinazzi and Jack Aitken, Magnussen, Gasly, Russell and Nicholas Latifi. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track and get this Grand Prix underway.
After the points finish last race, let's aim to keep the momentum going.
Guys, all that there is left to do is to hit that subscribe down below. Don't forget to ding that bell to never miss a future episode. Guys, sticking with the one stop for now, softs to hards. I know it's basic, but what else can we do? You guys know the drill. Jam with me on the formation lap. Oh yeah. Guys, are you guys ready for the Dutch Grand Prix in the My Team career mode? It is now time to head to 5 red lights. And it's go, go, go for the Dutch Grand Prix. Vettel and Valtteri Bottas on the front row with Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton on the second row. We head into the first quarter. Come on, top the camera angle. It is the Ferrari of Sebastian Vettel on the inside who squeezes Bottas towards the outside. Then you've got Leclerc in P3. What the hell are we doing in P4? Okay, we're going to have to rewind back to that in just a second, guys. But it is Vettel leading the way from Bottas in P2, Leclerc in P3, myself by some other miracle in P4. And then we've got a racing point in P5. Let's jump back to the start of Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton, guys. Hamilton is on the inside here of Verstappen. You guys can see I just get an absolute stonker off the line. I'm a little bit aggressive when it comes to Max. But then the racing point of Perez just shoves himself into that little story. And he goes side by side with Hamilton through the right-handed kink. Perez is on the outside, but he has the inside for the hairpin. And if he can get the power down, which he does, he gets that Pink Panther ahead of the black Mercedes. And that is now an in-turbo boosted car in 4th and a racing point at P5. I don't think Charles Leclerc is enjoying his mirrors at this stage. Not that I think we're going to stay with the top 3, but you never know. We can always try. So that was an absolute stonker of a start. And guys, my objective for this race is, even though we once again, we drove the wheels off the car and we over-qualified, meaning we qualified much higher than we should have, I still don't think we're going to manage to keep P4. I would like to finish the race where I started in P7. But one thing that I can guarantee you guys, I would like to stay ahead of Sergio Perez. Obviously, the 2 Red Bulls of Max Verstappen and Alexander Albon, as well as the 6-time world champion Lewis Hamilton, is almost guaranteed to pass us, and we will let them through. But the first thing is they have to get through on Sergio Perez. And if Perez, like we are seeing here, is still the one chasing me and not the 2 Red Bulls and the Mercedes, I'm going to defend with everything I've got. So unfortunately for Hamilton and the 2 Red Bulls, they are going to be held up unless they make do with Sergio Perez. You guys see, heading into Tarzan, we defend successfully there from Sergio Perez. We head now onto a significant amount of laps later, guys. There wasn't a lot that happened in the first stint, really. Nothing really valuable to show you guys. We come into the pit lane, and guys, I tried the very nifty one-stop from softs to mediums. Yeah, this car is not anywhere near ready for that.
Only 1 stop to go, 1 stop left in this strategy.
Yeah, guys, see, I knew Jeff was gonna talk, but in any case, we come out at the beginning of lap 9. We come out in P17 alongside our teammate Jack Aitken, who just gave me a heart attack heading into that corner. I thought he was gonna leave the space. Well, he was gonna let me through, but clearly Jack was like, no. So you guys see, now we're right behind the horse of, I think, Kevin Magnussen. And ahead of Magnussen, his teammate is squabbling with, I think, the 2 Alfa Romeos, if I'm not mistaken. Let's head onto the straight. You guys can see it's side by side for myself and the horse of Magnussen. And up ahead of us, it was nearly a 3-1 moment there. It's Raikkonen and Grosjean, and I think a Williams. So you guys say, oh, Grosjean is off the track. There was a slight nudge from my side. Not nearly enough to send him off the track in that manner. I think Grosjean got a little bit spooked there, but that is, I'm sorry for Roman Grosjean. And now we are right behind the Alfa Romeo of Antonio Giovinazzi, who is behind Alpha Tauri of Kvyat. Excuse me for mistaking that for a Williams. You guys can see her through the right-hander. I struggle to keep up with Giovinazzi thanks to the dirty air. Guys, dirty air around Zandvoort is really a big problem. Trust me when I tell you that the dirty air around here can kill your momentum completely. We go for a desperation dive up the inside of the second sector left-handed hairpin, and now we are ahead of Giovinazzi, and now chasing after the Alpha Tauri of Danny Kvyat, who is behind the McLaren of Lando Norris. As you guys see, heading through the third to last corner and heading into the penultimate corner here at Zandvoort. You guys can see I am going for a very audacious 2-stop here around Zandvoort. It is something like 15 seconds slower than the 1-stop, which I think is a bit inaccurate, guys. If you have a good enough middle stint on a second set of softs, you can make a 2-stop work around here. You just have to make sure you drive the wheels off the car. And that is what we have been doing the entire season so far. So why is today going to be any different? Yeah, guys, tell me. Guys, basically all the AI are going to go for the safe bet and go for the 1-stop, I think. Because getting stuck in traffic here is a problem. I'm not gonna lie. But if you know how to overtake here around Zandvoort, you know how to overtake. And guys, I was on a roll. I was on a roll. I figured out so quickly where the pinch points were on this track, where you can push for overtakes. It's not even funny. So I'm not gonna lie. The two-stop at this stage, where you guys are sitting and watching this from, might not be the smart choice. But trust me, this was a hell of a lot of fun. So you guys see, this is Sergio Perez coming into the pit lane, and obviously we have to make sure that we get out ahead of him, both Red Bulls and Hamilton. That means we have done our middle stint perfectly, and we need to try and extend our gap until we come in for our second pit stop. And then, obviously, Perez is eventually going to get overtaken by the two Red Bulls and by Hamilton. We need to make sure that we catch Sergio Perez back up again. And as those guys came into the pit lane, guys, here guys, it's here, myself versus Lando Norris. The Renault power in the back of the McLaren is really strong, and our Honda power unit is not yet there. But we go for the dive up the inside thanks to the extra amounts of grip we have. Norris started the race on those hard tires, and he is doing a one-stop from hards to mediums. So hats off to Lando Norris for still sticking it out there on heavy fuel with those hard tires. We're here around Zandvoort. For the left side of the car, guys, is absolutely terrible. Well, not terrible, but it's harsh. Especially the left front, it dies around here. It's almost like Silverstone, if I have to be honest. But now you guys can see Valtteri Bottas, who qualified into Q2 on the mediums, along with his teammate, is leading this race by far from his teammate Lewis Hamilton in P2. But the two Mercs are yet to have stopped. I don't know why I tried to extend that sentence. Then you've got Sebastian Vettel in P3, Charles Leclerc in P4, who are most probably both gonna undercut the Mercedes. Myself is in P5, ahead of Lando Norris in P6. I am leaps and bounds ahead. Okay, not leaps and bounds. No, I thought it was going to be a little bit more. But I am quite a significant amount ahead of Perez and the two Red Bulls of Verstappen and Albon. And Albon at this stage is the leading Red Bull. Wow. Okay, that is quite impressive. Next down the road, it is the second McLaren of Carlos Sainz, who was also running a very good race in P10. So you guys can see here, this is now the Mercedes of, I think, Valtteri Bottas, if I'm not mistaken. Or is that Hamilton? No, that is actually the Mercedes of Lewis Hamilton. Guys, Bottas is gone. I hope Ferrari have done enough to actually undercut Bottas. But here's the moment of truth, guys. Are we going to come out ahead of Hamilton? And I don't know why I did not show that, because we should have. I'm sorry about that. At the end of the next lap, here comes the leading Mercedes of Valtteri Bottas, who clearly is having better tire wear than his teammate Lewis Hamilton. You guys can see, here goes Bottas, mediums to hards. He will have fresher hards till the end of this race, so he will be able to challenge the two Ferraris. The question is, will Bottas come out and back into P2 where he was before Ferrari came in for their pit stops? And the answer to your question, it's very close between Leclerc and Bottas. We head into this next part. Leclerc is around the outside, and exactly what I thought would happen. Leclerc is now up into P2, and Bottas is down to P3. Now here you guys can see, this is actually Lewis Hamilton, who I think has got to the rear end of me. So you guys can see, Hamilton, well, I got ahead of Hamilton from the pit stops, but you guys can see there, I just let Hamilton through because there was no point in racing Lewis. He was, he's in the fastest car on the grid, as well as a 6-time world champion. Keeping that guy behind, yeah, it's not going to last long, and I'm just going to lose myself time. So now we come in for our second pit stop onto the mediums.
Complete, go now.
Nothing, Jeff? Nothing? Okay, sweet. Guys, we have got, what's that? 15 laps to go, and now we have to chase back into the pack from P12. You guys see, we come to the end of I think, yes, it is the end of lap 21, and we are already right behind the Renault that we came out behind of, and he has tried to chase down the second racing point of Stroll. We go up the inside of the Renault, we almost run into the rear of the racing point, but that's a beautiful move done there on the Renault. I think it's Ricciardo, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't actually keep an eye on that, but you guys can see, I'm all over the rear end of Stroll. He doesn't know where to defend anymore. We come through the embanked final corner, and before we even get onto the main part of the straight, I'm already alongside Stroll. Before we get to the corner, it's an easy move up into P10. So we are back into the points. Now we need to start to chase after this group. We are chasing after Lando Norris, Sergio Perez, and the two Red Bulls. And guys, this is exactly what I was hoping to avoid. I was hoping that Perez could keep Albon and Verstappen behind him as long as possible, so that I could steal a P5. But unfortunately, Albon has just gotten through on on Perez, and that is unfortunately our P5 hopes gone. You can never aim too high in Formula 1. You guys can see here, this is myself going up the inside of Carlos Sainz. Nothing that Carlos can do, and that is now us up into P9. You guys see we head back onto the Red Bull of Verstappen, who is finding it significantly harder to get past the racing point of Perez, but we have also caught up to the rear of them, and it's almost a 3-1, but Perez is not nowhere to go. We are around the outside, Max is there on the inside, but now I need to try and stick with Max to see if I can mount a move at another part of the track, because he made the move at the exact time where I didn't need him to make the move. And here we go, a slingshot out of the hairpin. Now we head into this fast section of the track, my favorite section in an F1 car on this track. You guys see overtake mode is engaged, but there's nowhere I can go, and I have just lost P6 to Max Verstappen, who made the move at the very last moment, but at the perfect time to overtake Sergio Perez. But guys, you guys can see, as we now start the final lap, it is Sebastian Vettel leading the way from his teammate Charles Leclerc in P2, who is under massive pressure from Valtteri Bottas in P3. Lewis Hamilton is in P4, and these guys are starting to overlap a lot of the cars on the grid. P5, in a world of his own, is Alex Albon, under no pressure whatsoever, just racing his race to secure P5. P6, it is Max Verstappen, who we will go on to in just a second. It's a beautiful racing facility here at Zandvoort. I can't wait to see the real-life F1 cars go around here. I think it's going to be quite spectacular. Max Verstappen is in P6, and I'm sure the Dutch fans for his home Grand Prix are not going to be happy. We are securing P7 with a beautiful drive. Sergio Perez is in P8, losing ground to the rear of us. We've got Carlos Sainz in P9, and P10, it is the second racing point of Lance Stroll. So guys, this race, it is the final lap. There's nothing more we could do. We tried for a very audacious P5, but we are going to finish where we started in P7, and I think that's a very good day in the office. Our car should really not be making Q3, so I'm happy. Sebastian Vettel wins the Dutch Grand Prix with Charles Leclerc in P2 and Valtteri Bottas in P3. You guys can see, I am very far behind them. Hamilton is only rounding the final corner now, and he will come across the line to seal P4 with Albon P5 and Verstappen P6. Hamilton takes the fastest lap, so he's got to get an extra point at the end of this Grand Prix.
4 seconds.
Why did Jeff just talk, guys? I'm sorry if I talked over Jeff. I'm sorry, but I like my own voice. It's a sexy voice. I'm joking, guys. We come through the penultimate corner, guys, into the final corner. It's a solid drive from ourselves here at Ed Turbo Boosted Racing. It's another points finish. P7 at the Dutch Grand Prix.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Ferme.
A difficult race then on a circuit that demands complete concentration, but they've persevered to take the win here today. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
I think a large part of the result comes down to temperament. They were able to keep their heads when everyone around them was losing theirs, and that's allowed them to get the best out of the car, to maximise the strategy, and to stay out of trouble.
And after this round of the World Championship, here's how things look in the drivers' table. Not the result our points leader wanted, but it certainly makes things interesting going forward. Some amazing talent out on the track today, but Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
I have to give it to Parker. That was a commanding performance today. Very impressive indeed.
It's time to check out the constructors' standings. Ferrari continued to extend the gap at the top of the table. Meanwhile, good work from Racing Point this weekend, who pushed themselves further up the order. It's been an absolutely wild weekend of Formula One action. I can't wait to see what's next.
The fans really seem to enjoy that. You made it look easy. It's safe to say you're smashing everyone's expectations, isn't it? It wasn't the cleanest race today, was it? Great. Well, that's everything.
Guys, what a Dutch Grand Prix. And I'm going to be honest, if you guys want to share this video and tag Aarava and Tiametmarduk in the next thing I'm going to say, you're more than welcome to. But Benjamin Daly and Aarava can suck it when it comes to me having a good race at Zandvoort. Guys, I am big supporters of them, and I watched their career mode series for I don't know how long now. I love both of those guys. But if they ever see this video, I hope they don't get the wrong idea from this and they don't think that I'm trying to insult them. But guys, you guys can suck it. You guys didn't have the best first season Dutch Grand Prix. And I'm not gonna lie, I had a freaking good one. And I used the strategy that actually both of you said in your videos is not the right one to take. So we took the two stop, we got back our P7 when we started, and we had a hell of a lot of fun. There's not a lot of time to allocate activities for our team, guys. It's only a few days. Then we head towards the next Grand Prix, which is in Spain. Ooh la la, we're going to Spain. We're going to the Circuit de Barcelona, Catalonia, for the Spanish Grand Prix. And I cannot wait for that one. You guys can see heading towards the upgrades. I think we got to do a durability upgrade. Our car is by far the least reliable, which is not something I'm proud of, but we have been focusing on performance a lot more to get ourselves up the field, which is also not a bad thing. We've got an upgrade in literally every single department waiting to come onto the car, so stuff is looking juicy here at It Turbo Boosted Racing. You guys can see there, looking at our financial stats, we are spending a lot, but at the same time we are getting the money back in time before we go into bankruptcy. So I think we are managing this first season so far very nicely. We are in P6 of the Drivers' Championship ahead of a Red Bull, and we are 4th in the Constructors' Championship. I mean, come on. And I know. If Aarava and Tiametmarduk see this video, they're gonna be like, this guy's probably driving on like a 90 AI. To be quite honest, for if they ever watch this video, guys, I'm gonna talk as if they're watching this. Just bear with me. I am on a pad. I started on 105, I'm now on 106, and officially after this Grand Prix, I'm going to lift the difficulty to 107 out of 110 AI. So you guys watching as well are also going to see me struggle a bit more. But guys, that has been this episode. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for staying till the end. You guys are absolute amazing people. I love you guys. Please, if you haven't done it yet, drop a like down below on the video. It's only going to take you 2 nifty seconds, and it helps me out a hell of a lot. Also, guys, while we're talking about Tiametmarduk and Aarava, the 2 biggest F1 YouTubers as far as I know on YouTube, please share this video with your friends on social media. Tag myself, Aarava, and Tiametmarduk in your post or your story, and I will give you a shout out on social media as well as on YouTube. And for a plus, if those guys see my video and it's thanks to you guys, I will make sure every single story or post that they saw, you guys will be mentioned for. And finally, without further ado, if you haven't done it yet, what are you doing? Hit the subscribe down below. Don't forget to ding that bell to never miss a future episode, guys. Almost at 150 subscribers. Please, let's keep the grind going. You guys can see I'm putting a lot of effort into my videos, and I would really like you guys to help me get to 150 subscribers. Guys, once again, that has been this episode. Thank you a million for staying till the end. It's been a fantastic Dutch Grand Prix, and I think we've got a lot to look forward to as we head towards Spain for the Spanish Grand Prix, where my hero Fernando Alonso is from. I'll see y'all next time. Cheers!
Down with the bass and sound.